Hey, hey, what? Ray Mac, hey, what? Hey, what? Welcome to Ray Mac's Kitchen and Grill. Love and not hate. Love and not hate. Welcome to Ray Mac's Kitchen and Grill. Love and not hate. What? Love and not hate. Come on. Welcome to Ray Mac's Kitchen and...
Hey YouTube family, look, check out these ingredients right quick. I got some garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, some cayenne pepper, some salt, and some black pepper with some flour, and I got some vegetable oil with some chicken broth. Look, we're gonna make us something good for you guys today, and I'm telling you, you're gonna love this recipe. It's a staple in your home. Grandma used to cook it, mama them used to cook it. So I got me some pork chop here, some bone-in pork chops. There's only 4 pork chops in this particular brine. So I'm brining these pork chops, and I'm gonna do some smothered pork chops over some mashed potatoes. So what I'm brining this with, I use some of this here Tuffy Stones everything seasoning. This is what I'm brining it with. You don't have to brine it, but you can just definitely go ahead and brine it because it gives it a little bit more flavor. Give these chops a little bit more flavor. So now what I want to do, I want to pat dry these particular pork chops. So I got them on some paper towels, and I just want to remove some of that moisture from these here pork chops. And once we do that, y'all, we're going to get into this here, and I'm going to give you one of the easiest recipes that you could possibly follow to make some good mouth smacking, I said it right, some good mouth smacking smothered pork chops. All right, if you try this recipe, guarantee you, you're gonna love it. Now, since we got these particular pork chops dried up with removing some of that moisture, we're gonna go ahead and go to the next step. Now what I want to do is I want to put these babies in a pan because we're going to go ahead and we're going to season up our pork chops. And we're going to season these babies up, not to perfection, but they're going to be seasoned up pretty good to whomever put their mouth on them. They're going to be like, who in the world made these here, because these babies is busting. That's the type of seasoning we're going to put on it right now. So I want you to put you some salt on this. You know what I'm saying? I want you to go until you say stop, but don't put a lot of salt because I don't want nobody to go out here, you know, having strokes over that. So go ahead and take you some black pepper and add black pepper to this as well. Remember, black pepper can be your friend when it comes down to anything that's smothered. Trust and believe me. All right. And the next ingredient we're going to add to this here that's going to add more flavor to this is going to give us some paprika. Paprika mainly is going to be for the color, but hey, it's definitely going to give us some flavors to this as well. So add you some paprika, and I want you to go until you say stop. I can't say until your ancestors say stop no more, but go until you say stop. Now I want you to also add in some garlic powder. Along with the garlic powder, add you some onion powder with this as well, because you can't use garlic powder without the onion powder. This is just how I think, y'all. My thinking is off at times, but when it comes down to these flavoring other foods, I got to have onion powder and garlic powder. Now, the next thing I want you to add to this is some cayenne pepper. Now, with the cayenne pepper, you can go as light as you want or as heavy as you want. It all depends on you. But this is not going to spice it up so much to where it's going to be unbearable. But trust and believe me, it's going to be flavorful. Now we season up the other side, and the next thing I want you to do is add you some flour to this here pan. Don't season up your flour at all. We don't need to season up the flour. Just add flour to your pork chops. And then from there, we're going to get our grease on the stove. I'm using vegetable oil in a skillet. And then I want this grease oil temp to reach at least 350 degrees. Once that temp hit 350 degrees, go ahead and just brown your pork chops. We don't fully want to cook these. We just want to brown it on each side. So once your pork chops are brown on each side, remove it from the skillet and set it to the side. Now what we're going to do, since we got our pork chops browned up and moved to the side, I want you to take out some of that hot liquid. Take out some of that hot liquid, but use a protective pan, all right? Don't use no plastic removing this hot liquid, because if you do, it's going to be trouble. But use something metal if you have it, okay? Now I want you to put that skillet back on the stove and save the bits and pieces in there. Don't discard the bits and pieces. Use 2 tablespoons of flour. The flour that you dredge this pork chop with will be fine. Trust and believe me. Now I want you to go ahead and start incorporating that grease, the bits and the pieces, and those 2 tablespoons of flour together. It's going to form us a nice little roux. Now I want you to go ahead and get your chicken broth. Have your chicken broth at your side, okay? Have it at your side, and just add a little bit of chicken broth at a time, but at the same time moving it around. So you don't want a lumpy gravy, you want a smooth consistency, all right? So keep that broth on your side. So you're going to add just enough where you're going to get it thick as you want it, or whatever the case may be, all right, or loose as you want it. But we don't want to overdo it. So continue to whisk this thing on medium-high heat. It's on medium-high heat, y'all, all right? And continue to whisk and add more broth as needed. So what I did here, I had to switch from that wooden spoon to a whisk because we got to get these lumps out. It's very important that you remove these lumps. Look at how smooth our gravy is right now. And I'm telling you something right now. This, if you can smell this, your palates will be so excited. But we're going to season this up. So I got some of this spicy Uncle Steve Shake seasoning. And I just want to go ahead and hit it with this here just a little bit. Then I'm going to also toss in some black pepper. Now listen, black pepper is gravy's best friend. So I'm going to add enough in this here that's going to tickle my palate. So I'm going to also toss in just a teaspoon of salt. Not a lot of salt, but just a teaspoon. And I still got my chicken broth on hand because I want to loosen it up just a little bit if it's too thick. And remember, if you're going to stir this thing up, you constantly got to be stirring it up at all times, and keep that broth in your hand because you're going to need it. All right. So now what we're going to end up doing, since we got our gravy smooth the way that we like it, the lumps are out of it, I want you to go ahead and taste it. All right, see if you're going to need any more seasonings, but at this particular point I don't think you are. So I got some heavy whipping cream, and I just want to brighten this gravy up just a little bit. You could add it, or you can omit it. Okay, this gives this gravy a little bit more richness. And I'm telling you, the cream does work, y'all. It does work. But if you do not want to add the cream, you don't have to. Trust and believe me. But this is the easiest recipe that you could possibly do as far as making this pork chop, smothered pork chop and gravy. And I'm not adding onions to this, okay? You don't have to add onions. If you want to add onions, bell peppers, jalapenos, or whatever you want to add to it, be my guest. But I'm telling you, this is fire the way that it is right now. So now I'm going to toss in my pork chop, and I just want this to cook on the stove for at least around about 20 minutes on medium-low heat. Okay, for about 20 minutes on low heat. And after 20 minutes, you better get ready to plate this baby up, or whatever the case may be. Pair it up with your rice, your mashed potatoes, or whatever it is you want to pair this baby up with. I just want to coat these pork chops up on both sides evenly. So what I'm doing now is I'm getting that bottom side coated up, and then I want to go ahead and flip these pork chops over just to coat the other side. Now, once I've coated up both sides of these pork chops in the skillet, I'm going to put the lid on top of it. And like I said, I'm going to let it cook for about 20 minutes on medium-low heat, okay? And then from there, we're going to plate this thing up. Now we got our pork chops, smothered pork chops ready. I had to end up cooking something else because my wife, she wanted some chicken and noodles. That's what she wanted. So I had to fix her chicken and noodles. And I had my pork chops and potatoes already done. So I ended up cooking this right after I cooked those pork chops and the smothered pork chops and gravy. And this is fire. If you guys want to see this particular recipe right here with this chicken and noodles, comment in the comment section saying, hey, I want to see those noodle recipe, that chicken noodle recipe. And I'll post this recipe for you guys. And that lemonade was off the hook. But I really want to say, you guys got to try these recipes. I got a recipe coming for the lemonade, and I also got a recipe coming for these here noodles if you want to see it. Just let me know in the comment section if this is what you want to see. But while you're here, I want you to also check out these few recipes that I've done previously, y'all. If you like gravy, check out this Southern-style meatloaf with onion gravy, and check out this here Lipton onion hamburger steak with home-style gravy, and check out this fresh sweet strawberry pound cake if you like something sweet and good to go with your meal. But I want to say thank you guys so much for checking out this here recipe. Subscribe to this here channel. You can subscribe by clicking on my photo, and watch these other videos. Comment below. Love and not hate. Love somebody and hate nobody. Peace.